Hi everyone, my name is Ferenc Csonka, and in the next 30 minutes I will speak about a beautiful friendship between the Power BI reports and the paginated reports. So let's start. Who I am, a very short introduction. My name is Ferenc Csonka, and I work in the beautiful capital of Hungary, in Budapest, for a small company called Fiscode. I work as a Power BI expert or a BI expert in the last years, and in the last 2 years I work for a trainer also. So, for example, a dashboard in a day or my custom Power BI training materials are also used. So that's from my side. Our main focus is paginated reports in the next 25 minutes. So what will be the agenda? The agenda is we will have a very short introduction to paginated reports. And after this short presentation, I will show some use cases why this is a beautiful friendship between the Power BI and the paginated reports. So I will show some use cases where a paginated report could extend the current Power BI reports, and they could be also a really useful solutions for some Power BI limitations. So what are paginated reports? In the last 1.5 years, a new comet in the Power BI universe, probably some of you heard about paginated reports. Originally, we had just Power BI Desktop, Power BI Service, Power BI Mobile, and the Gateway. And in the last 1.5 years, we have a new thing called paginated reports. But what are these paginated reports? I have to say it is not a new thing. It is coming from the on-premises SQL Server reporting tools, or you could say the so-called SSRS reports. You could see a very typical paginated report on the right side of the screen. So what is it? It is, I have to say, a multiple document, which could be pixel perfectly printable. You could imagine, as Microsoft says, that Power BI reports are the PowerPoint for BI reporting. What does it mean? It's really easy to create an interactive, highly analyzable report. But on the other side, it's not so good in the printout version. So paginated report will be the opposite of it. It will be the Microsoft Word for BI reporting. So you could imagine there are pages like A4, letter format, there are headers, footers, everything is customizable. The goal is a print-friendly, highly formatable, parameterizable reports, which is optimized for pixel-perfect outputs, which means you could print out, you could create very good exports to Excel, PDF, Word, PowerPoint, a lot of things. And you see there are a lot of export formats. And in the background, there is a very good subscription mechanism. What does it mean? It means that there is, in the background, an automatic delivery mechanism that you could say that, for example, every first day of the month, I would like to deliver this and these paginated reports to my clients in PDF format with this and these filters. So this is an absolutely automatic configurable technology. So, but these paginated reports, it's everything that is printable, highly formatable, and could be exported to many formats. In the last 1.5 years, it became the first-class citizen in the Power BI service. What does it mean? Microsoft integrated Power BI service with paginated reports. For example, for creating a paginated report, you have a new tool called Power BI Report Builder. I don't like the name because I believe much better if it's paginated report builder or something like this, but officially this is Power BI Report Builder. And this new tool could save or publish your paginated reports to the Power BI service. You see, it's really important that at this moment, today, you could only export, you could only publish these reports to the Power BI service only to premium workspaces. I will speak a bit later about this. After this publishing, you have to set the gateway settings, if it's an on-premises data gateway used. And then you will see that in the workspace, you will see your paginated report as a normal Power BI report or a Power BI dashboard, but it's a new icon. This is for paginated reports. And in the Power BI service, you see that you could use your created paginated report as a normal Power BI report, but it's a paginated report. Or you could export from the Power BI service to many formats, Excel, PDF, and anything else. And this is a screenshot about the subscription mechanism, which means that you could subscribe for a paginated report with different parameterization, and you could say that I would like to get this report with these filters on my first day of the month, or what else. The other thing in the Power BI service, it is integrated into the lineage view, which means that you could check not just your Power BI reports, how it correlates to the data sets, data flow, etc., but also how it correlates to your data sources. For example, there is an on-premises SQL server, so this my paginated report uses a SQL server, and I could check it in the lineage view. And a really important thing, the paginated reports are also available in Power BI app, which means that you could package your reports not just into a Power BI app, not just using Power BI reports, Power BI dashboards, but also paginated reports. And really important also that it is integrated with the SharePoint, which means that you could show a paginated report also in your SharePoint online page. And which is really useful nowadays, I believe, because most of us using Microsoft Teams, that Microsoft Teams, you could add Power BI tab, probably you tried it, that some Power BI reports added to the Teams. Now it is possible not just Power BI reports, but also paginated reports. Paginated reports from Power BI app and also from Power BI workspaces. Okay, so this is a very, very short introduction about paginated reports. And in the next phase, I would like to speak about why is it important, because at first, if somebody heard about these paginated reports, the very first idea is, okay, in my company, there are a lot of SSRS reports. Maybe we would like to lift and shift to the cloud, and there will be in the same hub for the Power BI reports, we will have paginated reports, but that's all at first. But I believe, my opinion is that it is not true. It is much more. I believe it is SSRS version 2, because Power BI and paginated report is really integrated. As you see in this very old movie called Casablanca, there is a very famous slogan quote from this film called "Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship." And I believe Power BI and paginated report is the same. So this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship between Power BI and paginated reports. What does it mean? It means that until now, for example, in a Power BI report, you created a nice Power BI data model, you upload it to the Power BI service. It is called a Power BI shared data set, and from this shared data set, using live connection, you could create as many Power BI reports as you like. In the same workspace, or in the last 1 year, while we have this shared data set possibility, we could create Power BI reports using live connection from absolutely different workspaces. But It is also true for the paginated reports, which means that we could use the same data model that we created in a long time. We created a lot of calculations index, we created a lot of measures, calculated tables, calculated columns, etc. We could use the same data model that used for the Power BI reports also for the paginated reports. And I believe this is the basis for this beautiful friendship. And how it works, so you see here a screenshot from this report builder tool that you could add as a data source a Power BI shared data set. I would like to highlight here that this shared data set could be in a premium and also in a non-premium workspace. As you see in my screenshot below, that I am creating a paginated report from Barcelona team workspace, and the data set is sales dashboard. And it is a non-premium workspace. The premium workspace needed to publish a paginated report. Until you don't publish, you could use different workspaces, premium and non-premium workspaces also. Okay, we understand the basis. So what could be the use cases? Why is it so important? Why I believe it is a good friendship between these two technologies? In the next minutes, I will show some use cases in PowerPoint, and then I will jump to my demo environment. I will show some demo just to have a feeling how it works between Power BI and paginated reports. Okay, so let's check the first use case. My first use case is a very simple one. Here, the main message that if you have a nice Power BI report, it could be extended every time with additional features using paginated reports. So what is the first use case? So I have a Power BI report for Boston Marathon in the year 2017. It's a nice dashboard, who was the fastest runner, who was the slowest runner, who was coming from Germany or any other countries. So it's a typical Power BI report with a lot of slice and dices, a lot of filter, etc. But at the end of the competition, you have to create some certificates. Of course, you could start the Microsoft Word or the PDF, and you could create some certificate for the top 10 competitors, for example, who was the fastest runner, who was the second fastest runner, etc. But I believe if we have a data model, a shared data set, for the Power BI report, why we want to do this in a manual way? If every information in this data set, why I would like to create an absolutely different data silo for my certificates for my top 10 competitors. So that's why I proposed for my customer that let's create some paginated reports, and I just would like to show how it works. So this is a very simple Boston Marathon Power BI report, and if you click if you go to the paginated report, you could generate this top 10 certificate. For example, this is the fastest runner, this guy, so he could get this certificate for his running. But what is the main message here? Using the same data set, using the same precisely created data model, you could create Power BI reports and paginated reports also. The second use case, and I believe this will be the most typical thing for Power BI and paginated report, is what I'm calling is freezing a Power BI report. What does it mean? So some months ago, one of our customer came to me and asked me that, Ferenc, these Power BI reports are really, really good. We really like this interactivity, the analyzing. We could get a lot of insights. So everything is fine with Power BI reports. But somehow, is it possible to freeze a Power BI report into a version? And at first, I have to say, I don't understand what does it mean freezing a Power BI report. So I asked this customer, what does it mean? And he told me that, Ferenc, at the end of the day, somehow I would like to create an offline version from my Power BI report. So, okay, we know that we could export to PDF or Excel or PowerPoint, but every time there are a lot of issues with these exports. And the other thing is that some of our CEO or C-level managers like to get a PowerPoint with different options. For example, he would like to see the same Power BI report for this business unit and for another business unit and for another product category. So a lot of slicing options should be created and screenshotted just to have a frozen version of this Power BI report, because if this C-level manager is in front of a Power BI report, of course, he could set the slicers, he could create nice visualizations. But if he is traveling by a flight or going in his car and he would like to check something, it's really difficult to create using a Power BI report. So that is the meaning of freezing a Power BI report. And I have to mention that this was a company who has some branch offices in absolutely different countries. So this was the headquarters of the company, and there are some branch offices in other countries. And they would like to get this frozen feature is if he sees a Power BI report in this frozen way in the headquarters, he would like to see all the data. But if the branch office will see this frozen version of the Power BI report, he will see only those data that is really needed for him. So somehow the row-level security should be used. And for all this requirement is the answer. If we have this nice sales dashboard, we could use it in different computers, desktop, PC, tablets, mobiles. But at the end, we should create a paginated report using the same shared data set that is used for the Power BI reports. So how it works? So we have this Power BI shared data set. We created a Power BI report to the headquarters. We created a paginated report from the same shared data set from the headquarters. And then we created the same paginated report like here for the branch offices, filtering for example, region Europe or region Asia, and configure this scheduling technology that every first day of the month, this paginated report should be delivered to this and these branches and should be available as an Excel file or a PDF file. And it was really nice. Everybody liked this solution. And what else? I have to say, there is a really big strength using the paginated reports with the Power BI reports, because the row-level security, if it is implemented in the shared dataset, it also will be applied for the paginated reports. What does it mean? For example, in the branch office leaders, for example, in this slide, partner one, we see only data for Europe, not more, because the Power BI shared dataset, which could filter using the row-level security technology, could filter the data for Europe or for the partner for Asia, it will be used not just for Power BI reports, but also for paginated reports. And another thing, I believe it is also a good thing, but I have to say we didn't use it in our project, but it's another option. In paginated reports, because it is a highly customizable, highly formatable, everything can be used for every element in a paginated report. You could use expressions. You could create additional security levels in these paginated reports. For example, if, for example, the partner 2 shouldn't see one of the column in the table, which is possible to see by the partner 1 or anybody in my company, it is also possible to implement the paginated report. So why Power BI don't have a feature at this moment for column level security or object level security, in paginated report we could add this functionality. Third use case, and I believe it is also a very useful feature because week by week I have a call from one of our customers that how he could solve this issue. It is called exporting a Power BI matrix to an Excel file. What does it mean? So you see here is a typical Power BI report with an absolutely typical Power BI matrix, or in Excel we call it pivot tables. But if you export this table to this matrix to an Excel format, the result will be an absolutely different thing. It is a flattened and unpivoted version of the matrix. So you couldn't immediately export a matrix to Excel, because in this way, if you export a matrix to Excel, it will be only a flat table. And from this flat table, you have to create the report again. And it is not just a problem from our customers, but as you see in the Power BI ideas, it is a really, really typical and highly voted issue in Power BI. How it works, so if you upload a paginated report to the cloud, you will have a special URL, and in this URL you could use parameters, and in these parameters you could say that I would like to filter to region equal Europe, and I could say that I would like to get the resulted paginated report in PDF or Excel or anything else. And then what will be the result? You see that if I created a paginated report and use this paginated report from a Power BI report, then the result is a nice formatted pixel perfect Excel matrix or pivot table. Another use case, I believe it is also really important to use paginated reports with Power BI reports. If you would like to export a Power BI report to Excel or CSV or nowadays PowerPoint, there are a lot of limitations, and if you use paginated reports, there are no limitations. So it's also a limitation in Power BI. It is also a highly voted issue in Power BI, but official Microsoft answer for this limitation is that please use paginated reports because this is the technology for it. And one of the last use cases that I would like to highlight for you is that it is possible to navigate from Power BI report to a paginated report, and then we will navigate back to Power BI report. So it is possible to navigate back and forth between a Power BI and a paginated report. So probably you know the drill-through technology in Power BI. The problem with drill-through is that if you have a nice dashboard and then you drill through, for example, to the business unit or the product category or the country or anything else, then you will get a very big matrix or a big table to have all the details records. So you have a very, very crowded list, and then again a problem how to export it to Excel, how to print out a long list with multiple pages. So all the problems that is available in Power BI for tables and matrix. But if you use paginated reports, you could eliminate this issue. So I will show how to navigate back and forth between paginated reports from Power BI and also from paginated report to a Power BI report. How the navigation back works. Okay, if you upload a Power BI report to the Power BI service, you see that you have a URL, and again there are some parameterization how to filter the data. And if you could generate this URL from a paginated report, you could navigate back to a Power BI report. And how you could generate an URL from paginated report. As I mentioned, paginated report is highly customizable, so every element in a paginated report can be formatted, can be defined what happens if I click on this item. For this situation, you have to define an action property. And as you see on the screenshot, I just created an expression in paginated reports, which will navigate back to a Power BI report. And finally, but not last, at this moment, if you have a shared data set and you live connected from a Power BI report to this shared data set, you could use only one live connection. But in Paginated report, it is possible to use multiple live connection per report. Maybe some of you heard about that during this year, maybe in October or November, there will be a public preview of a new feature in Power BI, which will solve this issue, but it will be only public preview this year, and probably the GE will be only next year. So at least for short term, maybe Paginated report could be also a good solution to have a report with multiple data sets. You could get a table from one data set, and you could grab a nice dashboard chart from another data set. So it is also possible in Paginated report. And I believe this is the point where I should show you how it looks like in reality. So this is this sales dashboard that I mentioned to try to be frozen in different ways. Or this report was that I just would like to create a matrix export. So I just click on this button. It generates the appropriate URL for the Paginated report with all the parameterization, and also to say that please export it to Microsoft Excel. So you see, I just created a Paginated report and it automatically generated an Excel file. And if I open this Excel file, it will open this Excel file with the appropriately formatted matrix, and you don't have to do anything else, just click on a button which is absolutely well formatted. Or here is another version. You have a table in Power BI and you would like to export it. It has so many records that if you just export it to a normal Excel export in Power BI, you won't get all the records. But if you use a Paginated report, it will automatically generate the Paginated report with the appropriate filters, like here the product category equals to baby food, and then automatically generate the Excel format. So it's really nice. I just would like to show that this report, if I would like to print out it, it has around 300 pages in this document. So it's not a small one, it has a lot of records. And the last thing that I would like to show in this demo, that, for example, I've got this Power BI map. It shows a lot of information about the different countries, and somehow I just would like to drill through to Austria to get some information, to get the transactional data for Austria. So I just click Austria, and if I select this Austria, you see a button is visible for me. I just click on this button, and this button pop-ups a new window with Paginated report, which will be filtered automatically for Austria. And all the transactional data is available, printable, exportable to any formats that is supported by the Paginated reports. So no problem to have a printable pixel-perfect output. And for example, if I just see that in Austria, the personal care is really small for this date, I just click on the personal care, and I could navigate back to a Power BI report, and I could see what are the information about this personal care. Of course, you could create much nicer Power BI report page, but the main message here, it is not a big problem to navigate back and forth between Power BI reports and Paginated reports. So let's go back, because we have just some minutes left. So you see that Power BI reports and Paginated reports, I believe it's a good companion. But at this moment today, it is working only with premium workspaces. So you have to publish the Paginated report to a premium workspace. And I just checked yesterday what is the situation in the Power BI ideas page, and this was one of the biggest highly voted requests to move this paginated report, make it possible to access it in pro licenses in shared capacity. Now it is under review, and I believe in longer term Microsoft will solve it because it's a really required feature. I believe so. So my conclusion is that what is the typical use cases to use paginated reports? Of course, lift and shift your current on-premises SRS reports to Power BI services, but also to print multiple pages documents. For example, you have a big table in Power BI and you would like to create a nicely formatted document from this table, or you would like to automatically deliver reports via PDF, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, etc. So this automatic delivery stuff, or you would like to have much better Excel export, like I mentioned, the Power BI Matrix Excel export is not so good. Or you would like to just navigate back and forth between Power BI and paginated reports. Or also mention the multiple live connection in the same report. So this is from my side. I believe these are really good technologies, and I hope you like this session. Please evaluate this session if you like it. I would be really grateful, because from this evaluation I could get feedback what is good and what is not good in my session. And if you have questions, please use the chat, or here is my contact email, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. So thank you, and I would like to wish you a good day and a good community summit during the whole week. And if someone has a question, please